you belong in these places. Your work is incredible. You belong here because you have done the work. So you have to trust in your skill set, trust in the classes that you invested yourself into, trust in your materials. My headshots are amazing. I have to tell myself these things. And it's like I said, it's in the healthiest way possible.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Talent Agent Talk, where we are bringing you real-life stories behind the scenes of TV and film. I'm your host and a talent agent, Jason Lockhart, and today our guest is Rashal James.
What's going on, y'all? What's up, bro?
What's
How
up,
you
man?
feeling?
You know what? I'm feeling great because you're here.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it, too, because, you know, it's funny. Like, I think about, like, how many successes you have, and then I also, like, when I think about you, I'll never forget, like, that like horrific day that we had.
Yes.
When you booked Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
During the COVID era.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? You went to makeup, right?
I went to costumes.
Or costumes.
Yeah,
wardrobe.
costumes. They were, putting together my costume because it was like, it had to be like custom made because I was like an alien. And everything was fine. The day was beautiful. It was one of the best moments of my life. I'm like, I'm finally an alien. And so
we all
I already feel like an alien in real life, but I'm like, I'm an alien in television and film. And so I get to the gym and I get a phone call from you and you let me know that I lost the job due to
somebody else
having
COVID in the same space.
They wouldn't even let me test.
I know.
To see if I actually had it, but they said I had to quarantine for 10 days. And by that time, I don't think my character was significant enough for them to pause or wait for me to.
Yeah, they just recast.
And they recast. Yeah. And it was a fun one too. My name was like Kitty Orgo Century, and I had to go through fight training, all of the things. And
I remember the gravitas of that conversation that we had, and I just felt so bad for you because I know how positive you are. And you're such a leader in the community of positivity and education, and it was just like, I felt so bad for you. Like, this is the shit that it just happens. There's so much beyond our control in this industry.
Yeah. When I tell you I was truly paralyzed for like 2 hours in the parking lot of Planet Fitness, I'm like, I could not move. I'm like, are you really telling me that I lost this job? But so many beautiful things happened afterwards.
Nonstop.
And it just makes you realize, you know what? At least I know that I can fit into a world like Marvel. I can fit into a world like Guardians of the Galaxy, and my abilities, made it through. So
yeah, you proved it once, you'll prove it again. And since then, you're now recurring on 2 shows and just did a huge movie with A-list stars.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, like, when the bad shit happens, it's like, Rocky Balboa. You get knocked down, you get back up.
You get back up.
If you want to be an actor, it's not going to always be the most glamorous road.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be heavy emotions, but I'm really proud of the way you handled that situation.
Thank you, bro.
Where you're at now. And that could have been deteriorating.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. You gotta what's the song by Frank Sinatra, That's Life?
That's life.
That song just lifts me up like every time, and it just keeps me going. So
I love that, man.
Absolutely.
Well, I think one thing that's really cool, because you are recurring on 2 shows, and when you auditioned for this movie, The Idea of You, with Anne Hathaway, the role was like bodyguard, right?
Yes.
And I don't even know how many. It was probably under 5 lines originally.
Under 5 lines.
And you could have easily been like, I don't want to do this.
Yep.
But you did it. You crushed it. And then what happened? You know what I mean?
I booked it.
You booked it.
And what? It gave me about 3 months worth of work. One of the most incredible times of my life. And I feel like acting is so spiritual. There's just certain small things that add up to the big thing. I was Anne Hathaway's hairstylist driver. And so I was driving the hairstylist around a week prior to finding out that I booked the role. And so I'm telling the hairstylist that, I'm an actor. And he's like, are you serious? I said, yeah. He was like, okay, we're doing a movie called The Idea of You. And I'm like, really? And so I I didn't even remember that I even auditioned for this role. I just did it, and because it was one of the auditions that I had of many. So, you know how AMT is. You get a shit ton of auditions.
When we can, yeah. We try.
So, you try.
Well,
so,
you do.
I do. And so it was one of those auditions that I just kind of just had to do, get it over with. I mean, I treat every audition with care, but it was one of those auditions that I just had to do, get it over, get in, get out, and then move on to the next.
But that's great that you didn't put too much into it and didn't sweat it too much. You did it, you moved on. You trusted yourself, you moved on.
Exactly. And so I get a phone call from you, and you're like, bro, do you want to do this movie with Anne Hathaway? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're like, yeah, this movie with Anne Hathaway. And I'm like, did I audition for this? Is this something that... And so I booked it, and it was just, I get to set, and I'm actually seeing Anne Hathaway, and I'm like, I'm really doing this. I'm really an actor. I'm really on set with a legend, a great... Catwoman, literally. Princess Diaries. And it was just it was great. It was amazing. She treated me with so much kindness, respect. It was beautiful.
Oh, I love that little audition that you completely forgot about. They ended up naming you Desmond.
Yes.
And you worked for 3 months.
3 months.
On something that we had no idea from the breakdown was going to turn into 3 months of pay.
I think it was one of the most streamed, one of the most watched trailers on a streaming platform of all time. Wow. The Idea of You. And yeah, got a lot of money for it. for that small role. It's not a small role. It's a very significant role. But for that role, it was definitely my highest paid job so far in acting. And I'm just completely grateful for it.
Was there anything that you feel like, because you were on set for such a long period of time, is there any like big lesson that you learned from this experience?
The biggest lesson I learned from being on set for The Idea of You, if I'm being completely honest with you, it is to shut your mouth. Just come in. Let me tell you the story. So I'm with Anne Hathaway, and we're basically just in a circle. It's me, Anne Hathaway, Nick Galantine. He's one of the other leads. And they're talking about the actors that they love and they don't like. And so basically, Nick, he's talking about the actor that he's not really, feeling. And then...
Like on this set or a different set?
On another set.
Oh,
just in general.
Can you tell us who he hated? No, don't do it. Don't do it. I do want to know. You'll tell me later.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you later. And then for me, I said a certain actor, and this actor is completely talented. Don't get me wrong. The actor's very talented, but his characters make me hate him in real life. Okay. So Anne Hathaway, she was like, Rashal, stop. No, I do not want to hate you because I love you. That is my godfather.
In real life?
In real life. I'm like, Anne Hathaway, that can't be your godfather. She said, that's my godfather. And the actor I'm talking about is a black man. So I'm never going to think that that's Anne Hathaway's godfather. And so it was all love. And other than that, just trusting yourself, just that you're enough. You're there for a reason. Just that you're enough. And you belong in these spaces, I would say, is the biggest lesson I learned from being on that particular set. To be honest with you, it wasn't really a challenge. I basically just was a presence on the show. So it wasn't really a huge lesson to be learned in that moment. But
you did show up.
But I did show up, yeah.
You showed up and you served, and you were a piece of that puzzle. And we see you a ton in the film.
Absolutely.
All right, listen up. Our Booked It Challenge is so close. Oh my goodness. Our Booked It Challenge is one of my favorite challenges that we do each year. And I'll tell you, when I first created this challenge, I was a little bit nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to create something where like people actually have to book jobs? Like that's not something in our control. But I took a leap of faith. I created the challenge. I called it the Booked It Challenge. And wouldn't you know, every single year, people book jobs. It's crazy. So this year, it could be you. This challenge is very simple. We're together for 4 weeks. We bring in an industry pro all 4 weeks, and we work on auditions. I make it so simple, so easy. One, I give you some audition techniques to help you book the job once you have the audition. And the second is I give you some techniques to get more auditions. One of the things I've realized in being an actor over the last 20 years is that if you get more opportunities, you have more chances to book the job. So we need to increase our chances, and then the chances that we do get, we need to increase the quality of our auditions. So we're going to teach you exactly how to do all of those things. So sign up for our Booked It Challenge. It's only $37, and there's a $5 off promo in the description. So the link is there. The promo is there. Head there right now and come join us for our incredible Booked It Challenge.
Is there anything that else that you feel like is worth mentioning from your career that has a great lesson? Because I know like Actors Collective, and like you're just doing so much good for the community that I would hate to have you in that seat and miss out on a hell of a nugget, you know?
I would just say, in the healthiest way possible, hype yourself up. Confidence truly goes a very long way in your when you show up in your tapes, your auditions, when you show up to set. It's truly confidence. I am one of those actors that doesn't struggles with confidence, if I'm being honest with you. You know, sometimes I don't like to watch myself on TV. I don't like to watch my work. I'm very self-critical. So things like that, I feel like is more harmful than good. And right now I'm in a space where it's like, you know, I'm reflecting on my journey, and I'm like, Rashal, you're good. You're really freaking good. Like, I want to cuss so much, but it's like, you're really good, bro. Like, you belong in these places. Your work is incredible. You belong here because you have done the work. So you have to trust in your skill set, trust in the classes that you invested yourself into, trust in your materials. My headshots are amazing. I have to tell myself these things, and it's like I said, it's in the healthiest way possible.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah,
because you don't have a cocky bone in your body. You're one of the nicest. You know, we got hundreds of clients. You're one of the nicest ones.
Yeah, and I notice when I'm on set and I see these other actors who are very cocky and confident. Guess what? Although they may have a horrible personality, they do great work. They believe in themselves and they're going hard. And
so why not be both?
Why not be both? I have to instill that into myself, and I do that every day. So just believe in yourself. Hype yourself up. It's okay. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small it is. Really do that. And take up space. It's, you know, me, Rashal, I'm like this big guy. And sometimes I shrink myself, and that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good on a big guy to shrink himself. No. That you got to make room.
Just like you don't need the short guy to think he's 7 foot tall.
Exactly.
No one wants to see that dude. Get that dude out of here.
You can't be afraid to show your magic in front of magical people. That's what I would say. Don't be afraid to show your magic in front of magical people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Because they bleed just like you. Yeah. Stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself. When you get to set and maybe you're not comfortable with something, speak up. It's a collaboration. You don't have to cower. You're not going to lose the job by advocating for yourself and for speaking up. And maybe in hair and makeup, you don't like something. I of course, do it in a gentle way, but yeah, speak up if you're not comfortable with something. Advocate for yourself. That's what I would say.
That's great, man. Mm-hmm. That's great. And speaking of magic, I'm very excited to see all the work that you've got coming out in P-Valley, the new season.
Yeah, I think the new season of P-Valley is going to be crazy. Katori Hall, she's a genius.
And it was another example of you saying yes to this role, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and like just more episodes and more money, and like
from a one-liner. I had no idea I would be 2 seasons in.
I know, right?
And that's also a beautiful journey. With these one-liners and these roles that you think aren't going to become anything, you just have to trust it, because you never know the relationships that you're going to develop through these being on set.
And you probably wouldn't trade that experience for the world.
I wouldn't trade that experience in for the world. at all.
I love that. I can't wait to see what you did with it.
Thank you, man.
I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited.
Thank you. It's intense. They got me acting crazy.
I bet. Well, I know. I mean, I had a good chat with Jay Jones about season 3. I mean, it's me off the hook.
Also, improv. Like, really get into your improv bag. That's why I'm so grateful for the Country Wayne skits. I do the Country Wayne skits, and you know, I hated the Country Wayne skits. I hated doing it because I did not like improv. But as I was doing it, I'm now 2 years in, and I'm one of the leads now, and so it really helped me because now I'm seeing the comments in real time. They're killing me. They're like, I hate him because I'm kind of like a villain. I hate this dude. Da, 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 da. But seeing this was kind of freeing for me in a way, because you know, you can't, with improv, you can't perfect nothing. I'm always somebody who's trying to perfect everything. And in this moment of improv, I'm just living in this moment. And so even if I do make a mistake or anything, it's very freeing to know that I cannot have control in this moment, and I have to just allow myself to be. And so improv has really helped me out. And a lot of these roles, most of the time, anytime I get on set, the director's asking me to improv. So improv is such a vital skill set that everybody needs to be exercising right now.
I agree. I think improv is almost a parallel term to storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, if you know the story, you can be a storyteller.
Yep.
You don't need the lines.
You don't need the lines
to be the storyteller.
Right.
I love that you're doing the Country Wayne stuff for that.
Thank you.
And we've got a couple other clients doing a lot of that stuff, and they're really great storytellers.
Very great storytellers.
You know?
Very great. So
kudos.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, you got a lot going on, and I'm really happy for you, man.
Thank you. And I owe it to you.
We're all in it together.
For real.
You know
Thank you
what I
for taking a chance on me.
100%.
Seriously.
I will till I die.
Thank you, man.
So, last question, though.
What's that?
You got a dream role?
A dream role.
If you could be anything, because I could see you doing a lot.
Thank you, man.
What do you want? You know, you want to be Batman? What is it?
It's a few things. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've always wanted to be a vampire, werewolf, but most of all, it would be like a wizard, like a Dumbledore situation. And I also want to be attached to a project where I can play different characters in one film, like a Cloud Atlas, the movie Cloud Atlas with Halle Berry and Tom Hanks. So, like, basically, how does this character from this lifetime, how does that trauma bleed into the next lifetime that you're born into the next life? Because I believe in reincarnation. So, I would love a project like that.
That's cool. So that's unique and specific. Cool, man.
Thank you, man.
Well, thank you for being here. I got a gift for you for being here as well.
You got a gift for me?
I do. You want a free car?
Oh, man, I need a new car. Mine is breaking down.
Yeah, I know. I know you've been in some accidents. Let's see what you pull out there.
Ooh, okay. What's that? It's a Bronco. That's hard. Thanks, bro. I needed it.
Big car for big dude.
I needed it right.
There you
Perfect.
go. Yeah, now you can just trample everybody.
Man, I'm hoping you all got something out of this. Love y'all.
Yeah, I hope so too. Audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Jesse Malinowski and Get Seen for producing our show. And if you would like to be a guest on our show because you got your own lesson with a cool booking story, pitch it right to us. It's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Again, that's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. All right, thank you so much, Rashal.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.